Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, you get to see me twice in one day when Texas freezes. Hope everyone is doing well, and I want to thank you all for joining me the second time today for the Tuesday talk show, which is one of my traditions, as you guys know. Um, I actually had a specific video I wanted to show today, and then I was editing it and realized, thanks, Vision. Hey, Ark Wildman. By the way, Ark had a great video of him cooking. He has the best dog ever because mine would have burned herself. The dog just sat there and waited for treats while Ark was cooking. So y'all need to check out Ark's video. Um, but I realized that if I didn't put some context to what I was talking about in the video, I might confuse the crap out of everyone, and everyone will think I got into the schnapps again like I did on Christmas. So, although right now with minus whatever wind chill, the schnapps isn't sounding like a really bad idea. But in any case, let's say hi to the chat real quick, and thank you, Hudson. Mike has been my sounding board for a lot of ideas, and I wanted to thank him and all my mods. Especially the mods that have been with me from the beginning, because yeah, you guys have helped me out quite a bit, and I really appreciate it. Hello, Scott and Virginia, Suburban Hillbilly again. Hello, hello. Marco, Mimi, Cold War. Howdy from Central Texas. You don't have a bunch of ice, do you? Because Josh out in the DFW area, he's got like 3/4 inch of ice on the roads. Like, I can't even fathom that. Thank you, Vision. Um, uh, Yeah, Vision. No worries, man. You take care of what you got to do. I'm kind of popping on and off the radar today. Hold on, I lost track of the chat. Um, oh crap! Now it jumped. Um, gives you- oh, there we go. Cold War prepper integrative preparedness gave you a nice shout out. There you go. Um, no, absolutely, man. And we need to talk more. I'm gonna need to pick your and Lou's brain for some stuff. Um, so I wanted to give some context because we have a lot of moving parts. And when I made the original video, which I'm gonna do a few snippets of tonight, um, and then I'm gonna show that on another day. But while I was rewatching it and then thinking about it, I'm like, this is actually useful stuff. It's not just panic. It's like I can take a course of action, but I don't know if I defined it well in the video I did. So what I wanted to do actually was kind of, if I can finagle this thing to behave accordingly. Bear with me just a second because I'm having an argument with my laptop here. Um, he's doing lives to stay warm. I am actually that's definitely a thing here. You live again? Yes, I am, because you know why? It's freaking cold up here, and they shut all my crews down. Like, my guys are shut down right now. Not only are mine, Sassy's drivers are shut down too. So like everyone's, the road is a skating rink right now. I went to throw something in the big trash bin in the street, and I just kind of slid. It was like Silver Surfer. I slid down the driveway, and then I wiped out and landed on my ass and slid the last 5 feet on my butt. But yeah, no, that's no joke. Uh, I am doing lives to stay warm. All I need is the schnapps I had on when I did that Christmas week live. Yeah, God, I had way too much schnapps. I hurt the next day. I kind of lost track of the schnapps. Um, but that being said, so the title of these two parts, part one and two, is nature, crime, and war, and all three of them are doing things at the same time. And we're making jokes about nowhere near as smooth as the Silver Surfer. Quit whining about our Yankee weather and get a mixed drink. Hey, actually, if I had the same jackets I had when I lived up there, it wouldn't bother me. But I got rid of those long ago. Um, yeah, no, nowhere near as smooth. more like the silver incident that just and down I went. So, uh, but in any case, I wanted to give some context. So we have natural issues occurring, right? Water, weather, storms, tornadoes. I mean, right now, most of us are having some kind of freezing or otherwise unpleasant weather going on where we are. Um, and that was something I wanted to talk about first because I think having watched people driving yesterday and today and seeing the accidents all across the country, it's something I kind of think, wow, that's really not awesome. So you're gonna see the roaming prepper, double roaming prepper. It's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, I'm gonna put that part of the video just to give some context for those of you who jump in there later. So, okay, thank you, man. Yeah, I know we're all kind of like everyone's crashed into each other. But I'm gonna play a minute of this and give you guys some context on what I was talking about when this one pops up later.
Kind of cruising across the southern states, making its way from Arizona, New
Can you hear that?
Mexico, all the way across to the coast. I just when if you're traveling and guys kind of driving, um,
Oh,
important things to note. One, before you go anywhere, ask yourself: is the trip necessary? Right now, obviously, the nuclear meltdown, Godzilla, the Cloverfield monster, whose name I still don't know. I like the movie. It's just that thing that spits out little spiders and freaks everyone out. If that was in town, yeah, you probably need to leave. Um, but if you're visiting a friend, going shopping, delay it a day, delay it 2 days. I try to keep my travel arrangements, whether it's by car or plane, as flexible as I can. Even if it costs you another $50 on the airline ticket, another $100 to get the refundable or the changeable flights, it can make a huge difference. It gives you a lot of flexibility.
so where I was going with that, and you guys will see more of this when this one pops up on its own later. Um, that's exactly what it is. My only complaint about the movie is that the camera was to the right; it never went to the left. And I took a group of teenagers to see that movie when it came out, and they got motion sickness. They wound up, one of them wound up throwing up popcorn in the bathroom because the kids got dizzy seeing that weirdness on the big screen. But to this point, guys, when we get these kind of weather events, whether it's a hurricane, flash flood, tornado, freeze, we gotta be flexible in our plans. And the biggest question you've got to ask, and I've said this before, do you even need to go out the door today? I mean, obviously, you got a sick kid. You need, kids Tylenol or whatever. Um, missed part of your live earlier. Wanted taco. Hey, man, Taco Bell is a necessary thing, my friend. I mean, you guys got to eat, right? But as I was saying, you got to keep those plans flexible. And if you don't need to go out the door, guys, don't go out the door, especially in this weather. Um, the first 8 fatalities in Hurricane Harvey were all in an automobile, with one guy got electrocuted, which was kind of a freak thing, because his house was flooding and he turned off the electric, then decided to go in the street to walk somewhere else, and he got zapped by a down line. He was trying to get out. I mean, the things happen, but need and chirito and tostado back. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, yeah, no. Baja Blast, baby. Vodka strong. Vodka shorts. Um, but Joe, yeah, I was talking about schnapps earlier, and Joe's got vodka. So I guess those are two good northern weather drinks. Um, but folks, I had a guy. I was driving to the gym, as I mentioned in the earlier live this morning, and it was a skating rink. As a matter of fact, the first turn to the gym, I hit the brake, started to skid. I just said, screw it, took my foot off the brake and just popped the gas a little and kept going and caught the next exit, the next turn. Um, there was a guy right up my butt. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do everything right, and dipshit is going to crash into me. And surprisingly, he got impatient, went around me, and zoomed off, and then proceeded to skid into the grass as I calmly turned into the gym. And I looked and I'm like, well, he doesn't look hurt, so I'm leaving him there and he can bite me because he should have been patient. So, but yeah, it's not always us, it's the general public. And that's probably a good rule of thumb for preparedness in general is it's not us being the dumb ones. It's typically someone else is suffering from a stupid and we wind up getting dragged into their stupidity. Said butt and dipshit in the same sentence. Yeah, he was a butt dipshit. I mean, that's just what it is. Oh, you should see me on a bourbon night. Apparently, I get really colorful. Sometimes to my own detriment, where I either get cut off or I get run off. So, but I don't get belligerent. I just get really interesting in my choice of phrasing of things. Um, I hate tailgaters. Well, yeah, and what's funny, well, yeah, absolutely. And the best thing is you don't have a bullseye on you. They can't tailgate you if you're not on the road. So, also, if you have friends and family in your area, collaborate, reach out and say, hey, folks, I need this. Is anyone going to the store before I go to the store? You might find out somebody's already at the damn store, in which case Venmo is your friend or some cash because now they want to tax your damn Venmo, even though you're paying for the milk someone else bought. Um, you, if that person can get it for you and make one trip and you just kind of slide down the street to their house and collect it, um, even better. So, I just wanted to give some context. I go into other details in that video that'll pop up tomorrow, but I didn't want you guys to kind of listen to it and go, where the hell is this guy coming from? Um, I'm watching a lot of experienced travelers, truckers, and granted, some truckers are insane people, um, but they're all on the side of the road of I-20 right now and I-10. Like they just gave up because they're afraid they're going to get killed. But the pickup trucks are zipping up and down, so that'll cause a nice accident all by itself. Um, yeah, you just don't want to mess with that. Actually, lucky, true story, if somebody once told me if you're going under the speed limit because you're having a problem, put them on so people know to keep away from you. But if you're not having a problem or you're not driving really slow because you have a refrigerator in your truck or something, don't put them on because you're just going to freak people out. Unless you're dying, in which case you should turn them on again. So, um, true story, in Houston, the cop pulled a car over. The car turned on police lights, but it wasn't a police car. It was one of these street racers. He thought it was his friend pulling him over. It was actually a cop. So he got arrested. Yeah. I don't know if it's illegal to drive with them. If your vehicle's having an issue, it increases visibility because you can see the human eye will pick up on the movement or the changing in light versus a steady light in fog. So, but you shouldn't be turning them on for dumb reasons. To your point, in lieu of an ambulance light. I don't tailgate. I don't do tailgates at football games. So, oh, hold on, I lost track. It was wrong for her to drive with her brights in the fog. Well, you can't see anything. I mean, you're messing yourself up, actually. Yeah, I've seen people do that, that they're trying to get someone to a hospital and they'll turn on their blinkers so people will notice them. Not a terrible idea. I don't know if it's technically what you're supposed to do. But Yeah, or you know what, Lucky? You can buy a hearse and put the Ghostbuster logo on it and the hee haw hee sound horn on it and drive up and down. People in Texas would love that. I could see Lucky with an antenna on the hearse and a little speaker so she can do her live stream while she's driving around in that thing. See, you'd have a portable studio right then and there. See, look at it. See, great minds. She's like, I'd love that. Mister may not like it because he'll be like, I have to fix this damn thing, but she would enjoy. Hey, Rescue, welcome back again. Can use a green revolver light. That's correct. Yeah, volunteer firefighters and first responders can use other colors. Hey, Denise, welcome back. Oh, he would be driving. Oh, see, then you could technically live stream and not be driving. So you're not playing with your phone and driving. So you're in compliance. And by the way, you can buy a used hearse from a funeral home because a funeral director who's a friend of my uncle's told me that insurance reasons at 40,000 miles, they have to retire them. They don't insure the hearse anymore. But you've got this basically a station wagon with a big V8 in it, but you can't, they won't insure it. So they have to retire the hearse and put a new hearse in their funeral home and they sell the hearse. I don't know if you'd want to buy a real hearse that actually had people in it, but that would be really cool. Wait, hold on. What was the TV show where a teen girl drove her hearse 6 feet under? Oh, that I do not know. Can anyone answer that question? Nope, I'm good. Hey, Coffee Ferns. Hey, Magic. Welcome, welcome. So, hey, Mad Dog. Oh, Mad Dog, did you get my email? I sent it to you day before yesterday with the information you'd asked me about. But anyway, I'm going to jump to the second part. So that was the nature part and how nature will affect your travel. But nature can also affect a bug out or if you have to do a recovery run. For example, if your loved one is downtown and you're at home and something happens, you're going to have to go get that person to bring them home. The weather's going to make a big um, a big factor in how well you can get there. Camper converted hearse. I wonder if that's something you could find at in Pinterest or something. Like go online and find a camper hearse converted to a camper, because that would be freaking cool. Nope, no hearse for me. Okay, bueno. All right, good deal, man. And so yeah, factor that in to your prep plans, because remember, more than likely, think about your day. You get up, say you get up, you work 8 to 5, so you get up at 6, you're out the door at 7, get to work at 8, come home at 5. I'm just example. You're going to spend half to a third of your day not at home, and another quarter or third of your day getting to and from wherever the hell you just were, and then the other part of it you're going to be at home. So more than likely, you'll wind up in some kind of problem, and you won't be at home. And that's something a lot of folks are like, oh, well, I'll bug in. Well, that's great, but you got to get home first. And you got to make sure your loved ones get home, because not everyone will be able to do that. So, something to factor in, the weather and the travel. Absolutely. So I'll go into other details and other. Hey, Hayes Gray, what's going on? And Okie. I think I missed a few people here. Hey, CR, what's going on? Where's Marco? Wait, hold on. I lost someone here. But camper converted hearse. If I showed up to Hudson's next camp out with a camper converted hearse, we should do a whole video just about driving around in that thing. I mean, put antennas and blinking lights on it, put the Jackery solar panels on top, and just drive it around, see how long it takes before the sheriff pulls us over. Um, but yeah, guys, factor in the weather. because the weather is erratic, and also factor in things like drought, which California is still battling with. Um, Factor in things like extreme cold, which we're all dealing with now. These are important things. So, just keep that in mind. Now, the second thing is crime. Now, the one good thing is when it gets really cold and crappy outside, crime goes down. If you didn't see Angry Prepper's video earlier, he did a short video about the protest that didn't happen. He said because it was effing cold, and he's right. It When it's 25 degrees, who the hell wants to protest? Um, but I had a few points that I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to share that from the other video. So I'm going to hold on a second. I'm going to. Oh no, I just had an error here. There we go. Let me share that, and we can talk to that real quick. This. Let me know if you get audio, guys.
Happen. So make sure you plan out your trips accordingly. So moving on to subject number 2, which is the issues on the coast, right? So we've had 2 shootings in Cali. Both, unless I'm mistaken, were older Asian men shooting up Asian nightclubs and whatnot, which is weird.
Thank you,
Now, I
guys.
did see a video of the first shooter who shot up the first nightclub. He shot 10 people. He killed 10. The pistol he was using, if you pause the video, looks like either some variant of an Uzi or a Mac 10. And it looks like it has some kind of suppressor. The man was 72 or 62 years old. This was an older dude. This wasn't like a young Antifa or some angry patriot, This was an Asian guy. His name was Lok Tran or something like that, who apparently was looking for his ex-wife. Again, I'm getting bits and pieces. I haven't really had a chance to really dig into it. But again, a threat can come from anywhere. He took his own life. The second shooter who shot 7 more, they did catch him and they did find the gun. So interesting situation there. I find it weird that you have members of that ethnic group attacking other people of that ethnic group. Now, the domestic issue, that could happen to anyone. I don't know what the motivation of the other guy was. And it's very interesting because I understand.
So where I'm going, and I'll go into more details on that video when it posts tomorrow. It's weird that in the same week we had the 2 elderly Asian men were shooting up other people. Was it a Mac 10? It looked like one, a Mac 10 or some. It wasn't a Tech 9 because the Tech 9 has the magazine in front. It had the mag in the pistol well, or in the handle. I'd add side pipes and a flame kit. Oh, we're still on the pimped out hearse. I'm glad to know you guys have as messed up a sense of humor as I do. Seriously, it makes me feel at home. But don't encourage them. So that was on the West Coast. On the East Coast, yeah, I don't know, man. But whoever he was, he shot the shit out of his ex-wife and then shot up other people who happened to be in the way. And then the other guy, I have no idea what he was upset about. Dr. Tran, I don't know. But on the East Coast in Atlanta, we had the Antifa guy who got shot by the cops after he fired at the police. And it's almost like in the same week, they took the thing that scares I guess the left the most, which is mass shootings, but they threw a minority shooting other minorities. But like this thing that scares the left, oh, mass shooting, people with guns. And then the thing that concerns the right the most, which is, oh, Antifa running around shooting people, happened in the same week and freaked everyone out. At just what? Oh, the second guy was angry about it was a workplace shooting. Okay. I'm gonna have to, because I know when I saw you say that, I was like, she's going somewhere with this. Well, yeah, I mean the Nazis proved that. Um, yeah, and it's almost like people have gone bonkers. But you notice that the false Freddy appearing incident that would scare the left and a false Freddy appearing incident that would scare the right happened on the same week. And just timing. It, yeah, I know I can't tie them together in any way, shape, or form, but it's just weird. But yeah, I know. Just get a new job. Don't go and like shoot the people. I don't understand it. But I will go into some detail in this video about active shooters. I actually wound up in training with a retired Fed and guys from one of the SWAT teams. There were a bunch of us who were filling in roles as responders, and they stuck us through this class. And this is true. This is true, Hayes Gray. You've got a lot of things happening at once, and all of them seem to be aimed at more regulation, uh, more regulation of pews from the law-abiding citizenry. But we can't stop human beings and cocaine by the ton from coming over the border. Um, yeah, and again, I think there's a shift, Oki, in human culture in America and in the West. Um, wait, it was Mad Shad there? Oh, Mad Shad left the building. Hold on a second. I lost track of the chat again. It took off on me. But Confucius say never mind. Um, I have no idea what autocorrect did there. Wait, I lost. All right, I lost it. Sorry. Um, these kind of active shooter situations can happen anywhere. You really don't know who or where it's going to start. But the general rule of situational awareness that we've talked about with riots and muggings and rapes, etc., will also apply to this. Um, I would encourage everyone to, hey, Nate, welcome. No, they don't have self control. What about rice jokes? Oh, that was a typo down on my phone. Um, the When you go to somewhere you've gone to before, because when I go to somewhere new, because it's new, I stop and I kind of take in the environment. But um, when you go to somewhere you go to all the time, like your corner store or the Walmart or wherever it is you shop, we tend to get complacent, right? We become stupid. And we don't do it by design. We kind of get in the zone. Oh, I got to go pick up milk. And you're just like, must get milk. And you're not noticing. Next time you go into, I couldn't pay attention to Tifa because there was, oh, listed among the lines of 10. Oh, that's interesting. I think the guy's name was Tyre or Ty. I don't remember now. The young black guy who's beat up by the black cops. What was his name? Hey, Angie. That's an interesting tie-in, Daryl. But anyway, point being, the next time you go somewhere that you tend to get lazy and complacent in, like your Walmart or your grocery store, play a game. If you're with your family, it's even more fun. But if you're by yourself, when you walk in, look around and identify the nearest two exits besides wherever you just walked in from. Get into that habit of looking for those exits. My wife and I now are to the point that when we go out to eat, we sit where both of us can see the door now because she carries too, and we both want to see the door. And it's just, you get in those Tyree Nichols. Okay, it wasn't Tyre. Oh, no worries. The chat's zipping by really quick. So, but yeah, start getting in that mode because financial forecasts, the inflation, the Fed's about to increase the interest rate again. It's going to hurt somebody, right? They're basically creating a recession to stop the inflation so they can start all over. Uh, exactly. It's not just for active shooters, it's for a fire. It could be, chemical spill, somebody spills something caustic, you have to get away. You want to know your exits and entrances. So get into that habit. I wouldn't go driving now since everyone will get in a car wreck, but next time you go to a store, especially one you go to a lot, ask yourself, hubby and I sit. So you guys sit side by side, or where you can both watch doors and windows. Yeah. Um, take the time to get acquainted with your environment, and remember, it's not just for active shooters. It could be just a guy or girl trying to mug you, steal your purse, your phone, whatever. Um, but I wanted to give some context because I go into more technical details about the psychology of a shooter, and that's not as going to a smoke shop in the hood. Pray for me. That's awesome. Yes, spatial awareness. That's a good way to put it too. Um, yeah, but he like showed up after, like the video that like the body cams. You look, and it's all one ethnic group until like this one white dude shows up later. Um, bad white cop aura. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of blaming of different cultures. Everyone's trying to put everyone else in a box, and the humanity of, oh, those are just people who look different, but they're just people, has gone away. Um, so again, between the weather and the crime, those are things you can plan for, right? You can don't wear fancy things if you're going to a store, or if you're going like he was saying, the going to the smoke shop in the hood. Don't wear a bunch of jewelry and the Rolex when you go to the smoke shop. If anything, look absolutely uninteresting. Uh, no, don't look like a bum, because then the cops will show up and they may question you. But you get what I'm saying. Use that awareness to inform your decisions, much like you would use your awareness to inform your travel in bad weather. Um, um, no, uh, that's unfortunate. So yeah, well, I don't think they're indicting that cop. I think he's suspended pending pending a hearing of some type. But yeah, yeah, no bling bling when you're there. You just don't want to mess with it. You want to be sure you be gray or be boring or whatever, look like a cardboard box. Um, that would be interesting. If one of you does go to a store dressed as a cardboard box, I want a video of that, because that would be hilarious. That would make my week right there. Actually, I know for a fact Hayes Gray Prepper tried to put a box on his cat, who did not like that, and the cat ran away and tore up the house as a result. So I've just outed Hayes Gray. But anyway, um, yeah, the family wants him charged with murder now. The cop that wasn't involved in the fighting, he just showed up after the fact. I Hey, it gets expensive though. Um, hey, Pilgrim, it came out as three little boxes. I don't know if you meant to put little boxes or you're putting something else, but StreamYard, that's what I saw in StreamYard. I'm like, I got boxes. All right, three boxes for you, man. Um, I'm just playing, but my old dog who hated boxes, my cats love me. Okay, that's right. No, you tried to put a box on one of my cats who just ran away. Oh, okay, it was a salute. I just got the three little boxes. I'm like, fill in what your emoji is. Um, all right, I stick out like a sore thumb here, no matter what I do. And in some cases, you might just be the person who you can't really go gray. So the only thing I would say, just go about your business. Just act like it's another day. Because I know one guy. God, he's got maybe 6 inches and 150 pounds. I mean, I'm not a little guy, but he's big. And he's like, everywhere he goes, people look at him because he's just a big monster of a guy. And I'm like, doesn't that freak you out? And I just go about my day, just do my thing. And people look at me and go, oh, he's just another dude. He's just supersized. And, they kind of blow him off. So, yeah. Oh, interesting to know. Now, see, I'm gonna have to go back and see. I fit in anywhere myself. Yeah, I definitely can. Although I grew out my beard, like the whole beard once, and I had someone walk up to me and start speaking Arabic, and I'm like, I can't help you, buddy. I don't know those words. I dress like a disgruntled veteran. Okay, and see, that's something military guys we run into is you carry yourself a certain way. Athletes will do it too. Um, if any one of you knows like a dancer or ballerina, they they walk very upright because that's how they were trained, and they you do it for years, you never stop. Oh, fair enough. You are Marco's beard match. There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like trim it or something because it gets out of hand every now and then. Then I look like a Cossack, and nowadays Cossacks are not popular in America, so we got to be careful. Um, but anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. So be mindful of how you're doing things, but use this information. There's going to be an Antifa riot or whatever, or Patriot Boys or whatever, Angry Chickens or whoever the hell's rioting. Don't go there. Just don't, because the assholes are there, right? No assholes. That should be a hashtag. Um, go the other way. Uh, I don't know anyone knows what Cossack is anymore. No, you know what? They may not. That's a good point, Lucky, because they don't teach history. The kids don't know what the Holocaust were. They'll say, "Oh, Hitler killed Jews." Like they don't understand the breadth of what happened. They just think it's racist because everything's racist. Not that I'm making light of it. It was awful, but uh, my cat lives for boxes. My corgis kill boxes. And apparently tumbleweeds. They go to battle with those. Your age is showing. Hey, now, I'm quite proud of my age. We annoy the boomers and the Gen Z at the same time. I mean, how cool is that? When I sit with my son's friends and I can beat them in Battlefield and blow their little guy up, and they're like, "Oh, your dad's actually good at this." Yeah, dad's actually good, pendejo. Anyway, and I have called them pendejos too. Avoid confrontation. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, well, I probably somebody will watch this playback 6 weeks from now and say, "Oh, he said pendejo on a live stream." Um, well, actually, the millennials are a lot of fun because the a lot of them wound up in Iraq and Afghanistan. Not that that was a good experience for them, but they got that painful reality check there, and they went through a lot of stuff Gen X did. There was a lot of overlap, but like the Gen Z kids, I have a lot of Gen Z following me on TikTok. That's why you'll see me do these short videos on like here's how you make coffee without your Keurig. And I had someone message me like, "What is that pot?" It was a percolator. "What is that pot that you boil coffee? How do you do that?" And so I made a video on TikTok, and you put your coffee grounds in here, you close it, and um, I'm too old to care. It's true. Hey, angry chickens can frighten people. Those and the Canadian geese, they love to chase children. Those are mean. I had a beagle made the mistake of going after some Canadian geese, and that ended badly for the beagle. How'd you do that? Witchcraft. But so anyway, so that's kind of my summary on the nature and crime. I'm gonna do a short clip from the video that'll pop up tomorrow, and I'm trying to give everyone some context of what the hell I'm going to talk about then. Um, hey, I'll tell you what, I learned all the bad words from the Korean War vets. Everything. Like, if those of you who've seen the movie Gran Torino, where Clint Eastwood plays the old vet and all he says is racist shit, I grew up with that. My dad and his friends were those people. And it was like an Italian, a Puerto Rican, an Irishman, a Jew, and they just said the most racist shit to each other. They'd be like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." And then I learned that, and I'd say it in gym class, and then Dad got called. But you know, um, can you say latte in a pot? There you go. When in doubt, chain them together. Nice. Uh, that's called the 70s. Yeah, what is 70s and 80s? Yeah, for sure. And what's funny is that if I'm doing the math right, wouldn't the boomer generation be the grandparents of Gen Z? So why are they hating? Because the millennials and Gen X are in the middle. We would be the parent generations to those two. There would be the grandparents. So I don't understand. I wouldn't know half of what. True. This is very true. I was outside one day, from kids, saw a rooster walking toward me. Aunt came out of nowhere. We had chicken and dumplings for dinner. That sounds like my wife's family. She had a pet goat as a little girl. Then they had cabrito, which is really good in a taco. Those of you who are from Texas know exactly what I'm talking about. Lucky knows what cabrito tacos are, um, for sure, and so does Cold War. I know that he does. Um, Proud last year boomer here. I'm right on that. T- This is true. Yeah, because I knew boomers who were complete stoners, and they wouldn't technically be a boomer, so I don't really know like what to make of that. But in any case, we are a cool generation. Um, but last but not least, the thing what of offending every achievement trophies of offending every demographic. You and Joe should have a conversation. 90% of them the Navy. Okay, I'm telling you, it does. So the guy who handmade my dad's fishing poles was Sal. He was Jewish. Then Sydney, no, Sal was the Italian. Sydney was Jewish. Richie was an Italian, and my dad was a Puerto Rican, obviously. And the stuff they said to each other, they visit each other's house, and when the wives were there, hey Claire, hey Jane, hello. The ladies hugs. The guys that go to the basement, you want a beer? You fat shit. And it's like, as a little boy, I was like, you call my dad a fat shit. My dad wasn't fat, actually, it was the opposite. And rookie numbers, Hayes. So, in any case, so a lot of decisions you can make based on what we're seeing in the news, right? So people are freaking out. They're like, "Oh, we need to ban guns or ban public or don't talk to each other." No, take the information and then assess and then execute on it, right? It's super. Yeah, it is tough love or drunk love, depending on how many rounds of beers they had. Um, but this last little clip, and again, it'll be more tomorrow. Make sure I turn on the audio this time. I like that phrase, unabashed, wide open, uncensored pre-soy lingo. That's well said, Denise. I like that. Um, this one is about, let's see.
These unexpected situations, pay attention to your surroundings,
Okay.
plan your travel. Now, last topic, Russia,
Can you guys see it?
Ukraine, right? They're going to
Oh,
tag me, I'm sure. What the hell's going on? So the war started
Thank
early
you.
in the year, right? January, February is when uh, the special military operation started. Why did it start then? Because
Special.
everything's frozen. We're coming January, February again. We're almost hitting the 1 year mark, if I'm correct. Everything's going to freeze again. This is historically when Russian forces will move. They did it. So let's go back and hear.
So I'm going to go into a history lesson in that video as well. But the point being, a lot of people are speculating uh, oh, what we're hearing in our media is disconnected from what I think is actually happening. And I think the media in Russia is the same way. I don't think they got into this war expecting to give up and lose. Um, the problem is, my concern is how far are they going to go? But this is the time of year, while all of our streets are frozen, well, Ukraine's frozen too. That kind of terrain is great for tanks to move across rivers, to move across ponds, wherever they need it. Um, and Joe, I don't disagree. Um, well, yeah, this war is a racket, without a doubt. But the arrogance of both sides is something that concerns me. Um, but think about it. Putin, when he did that big, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, when Putin did that big draft, that was like June, wasn't it? May, June, something like that of this year, July. Um, in the middle of the year. It's been 6 months, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, Russians ran away." Yeah, a lot of Russians left the country. They tried to flee. A lot of them couldn't. But you think about it. So those of you who served in the military, basic training, depending on your branch, 8 to 10 weeks. Advanced infantry, now they call it A school, AIT. Now, your advanced training, anywhere from 2 to 3 months extra. So in about 5 months, you would have a fully trained, operational, combat ready infantryman, hypothetically. That's what I'm talking about, Mad Dogs. Russia has lost about 3,000. I saw a statistic not far from yours saying that that's what Ukraine has lost. There's a reason that now they're sending tanks to Russia. I'm sorry, to Russia, to Ukraine. That's why there's so much talk about F-16s. That's why Russia's saying, you need to butt out, or we're going to start attacking your damn transport convoys, because you're basically fighting a war against us using Ukrainians. That's basically what it's come down to. Um, I think AIT is 18 weeks. That's for an 11 Bravo, so that's infantry for those of you unfamiliar with it. Hey, Caribbean House, welcome. Navy increased boot camp from 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, so I'm not too far off. So 2 to 2.5 months basic, and then 11 Bravo. That's 4.5 months. So Cold War, the timing would be about right if they enlisted all these young men and women in June, July, and we're assuming 11 Bravo and that the infantry school is the same length. It may not be. You would think if he recruited 500,000 soldiers in June, they're ready to go to war now. They're trained. They're not like, oh, we're just going to throw, um, you know, untrained civilians. These guys, like they did in World War II, no, these guys are squared away. So I think we haven't seen the end of this. If anything, I think it's going to get precipitously worse in the coming months. Um, Now that one you can't really prepare for, right? You can't. Okay, so yeah, I was about right. So, but you guys kind of see what I'm saying. Um, they're training. They the Ukrainians would have been the only other country I'd say has the great experience of fighting in the winter besides Sweden and Finland. But the Russians are masters at this. This is where they thrive, is in winter open battlefield warfare. And he was going for the quick win early, try to decapitate the government. He failed. They consolidated. I don't think they retreated, like beat him back. They consolidated. They made some decisions. They haven't, the Ukrainians have gained no ground for 2 months. Nothing significant. If anything, Russia's pushing back. They're positioning. They used to have a training regiment when they drafted every, so one regiment had 18. Going to Ukraine, sorry, with then equipment. Yeah. And now, granted, hypersonics exist on both sides. I don't know. We were doing it for undergrad in the mid 90s. So why we fell behind everyone else, I don't know. Maybe we didn't, and we're just not saying anything. But I think if Russia can't win it conventionally, they're going to start pulling out the special toys, right? They're going to start using the hypersonics. They're going to start hitting. They didn't hit the infrastructure up front because they didn't. They wanted to take the country intact, and they now believe they can't do that. So they're just going to kick everyone's ass. That's going to escalate. And what that's going to do, remember what the war did in the first place with the grain supply and the food supply and the chemicals and the fertilizers and oil prices. I don't think, no, yeah, correct. We do. The US, I'm sure we do, but the Ukraine does not. And so Yuki is drafting anyone. Yeah. And that's what happened during World War II, right? Toward the end, some of the countries that were getting their butts kicked. Basically, if you were functioning adult between 16 and 60, they gave you a rifle and you went out to pick a fight. Sends a criminal. And that's the other thing I'm worried about. Our spares, our surplus, right? Even the boneyard in Tucson, Arizona, with all the old A-10 Warthogs and the F-14s, those are not all fully decommissioned. They're preserved there, but the engines are nearby. The whole concept is there's a quantity of used aircraft, tanks, artillery, weapons that is meant to um, backfill battlefield losses and, if necessary, backfill home defense, i.e., protect the USA. And that stuff went overseas. And granted, the Pentagon can order more, but that doesn't show up at Walmart, right? That takes 8 to 10 months to procure and then bid out and then obtain the manufactured products. So this is not a short term solution. And we've got a lot of stuff that has been sent away that we no longer have access to. So um, as far as this, excuse me, as far as that, obviously you can plan for weather, you can plan for situational awareness in crime. Hey, Loretta, welcome, welcome, and thank you. Um, uh, you can't really stop a war, but we can understand from the first attacks what it did to the economy because that informs your decision. So rice, grains, breads, it's going to mess up the food economy. The U.S. makes enough. U.S. and Canada and Mexico make enough to feed ourselves, but we export a lot of it too. So you're going to have to start watching because between the inflationary effect and um, the effect of this war on the logistics of the world, uh, that's something else that can definitely affect us. But you can also start making moves now, right? You can buy the 15-pound rice, not the little bag, and mile or bag some of them. A lot of you are canners. True American Loretta has a lot of good canning stuff on her channel. You can can and preserve the meats. You can can a lot of different stuff. So you can, hey, Donna, welcome. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm clicking everybody now. Nada. Okay, and I agree because I actually worked for a explosives manufacturer, and when DoD did a big procurement in 2017, 18, it was just a standard cyclical procurement. They pulled a lot of certain types of explosives off the commercial market, and it took us a while to normalize, and some companies actually were not able to backfill. Hey, Cat Lady, welcome, welcome. So Sam's has the 25 and the 50, I think, or is it the 25 and a 15? There's like a smaller and a bigger bag. But yeah, you can start taking those kind of steps now and say, okay, what will be affected by this conflict if it gets worse? Well, there's going to be rationing, there's going to be shortages, there's going to be grains or wheat, or make your best judgment. And it's good to see you, and I'm glad you're able to join me today. I'm happy to see I've got a lot of folks in here I haven't seen in a while. I'm really happy. We used to have two units as a minute. That's a good question. I heard speculation that it's not in the quantity of what it used to be, but that's anyone's conjecture right now. Um, we'd still need to get the troops out there. So I will tell you from what I've heard. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's good too. And yes, creative, absolutely. If you guys are going with other family members, and you don't, if they're preppers, great, you could just tell them what you're doing. But if they're not into preparedness or it freaks them out, because some people stress, you can tell them, hey, look, I found the rice on sale. I'm going to buy it, but I don't need that much. You want to split the bag with me, pay for half, and you come and get half the bag. And both of you come out with a cheaper price per pound. Uh, and you never know, they may see the light and start preserving food too. So, got a case of tarps today for 30 cents. Oh, wow. That's actually really impressive. Oh, wow. They needed more shortages of food and more unrest so they can do things. They need justification. Yeah, and Lucky has a good point. Shop around a little bit. Um, when I'm on business trips, I'll kind of look at things I need before I leave. And while if I go from West Texas, I hit Dallas or Austin or San Antonio, I'll hit the Sam's there and kind of compare pricing. And if like the other day, I found dog food, the big bag, because I have little dogs. So the big bag lasts me like a month and a half. It was 20 bucks cheaper in Dallas than it was out here in the country. So I bought the bag there because I was there anyway. I threw it in the back of my truck and I drove home with it. And I saved 20 bucks. I was going to make the trip anyway. So, try to do that. Um, but if you need food or products, I would try to budget them in, plan it out. Don't freak out and put yourself in debt or not pay your mortgage or something, but budget yourself in and then, uh, maneuver accordingly. Uh, should be as long as the concern is still there. Did they? Well, now I got to go check my. Well, see, we have some stores that are direct from ranch. So, like, there's a meat market here that's connected to either the Four Sixes Ranch, the one from Yellowstone, and then one is connected to a Sharbauer Ranch, which is another big ranch. Uh, and not okay. Thank you, John. Yeah, if you guys can't hear me, let me know. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. No, and I've got two boys in uniform right now. Well, one's about to get out, but if something pops off, they get called back. So heck, some of us old ones may get called back if it gets that ugly. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Hey, Texas Redleg. So folks, um, you see these moving parts, but this is intel, right? This is information that you can use and then say, okay, do I need to make that trip? If I do need to make that trip, what do I want to prioritize? So if you have bad weather and there's, I mean, tie them together, right? Bad weather, and there's a conflict somewhere, and you're like, I got to go to the store. Make your priorities. Make one trip. Get everything you need in that trip as best as you can, and then get your butt back home. If there's riots, crime, the same thing. If you have to go out, um, just prioritize and get what you need. Got a case of 60 for 20 bucks. I'm assuming that's $20. Oh, see? Oh no, yeah. That might have been it. The video call. No, not Mayo. It wasn't me. That was someone I follow on another platform. But she, yeah, that lady's video was really impressive. The homework she did to kind of tie all that together. Yeah, I just discovered Kroger delivers in my area from a warehouse. Right, and not everything will be the best price at Sam's or Walmart or actually I found that Sam's price is better, but the variety is way less than Walmart. But because Walmart has more inventory, you're going to pay more. So they're not cheapest by any means. I found stuff on sale at damn Dillard's that was cheaper than Walmart and better quality. So you got to shop around. But yeah, look, try to plan out, look at what's coming, and then say, okay, what do I need? What's my priority? And everyone here is in a different situation. So I might say I want to prioritize rice. Someone else may say, no, I'd rather get more mason jars and start canning my chicken. Whatever the case is. Um, oh, someone was suing them. Who? Walmart? Yeah, that was a heck of a project. Yeah, we're all iced in. Basically, everyone north of San Antonio, Austin area, they're all iced in. Dallas Fort Worth's got like a half inch of ice on the highways. It's really bad over there. Um, an Amish store here in PA. All these are good. Their prices are pretty decent. I didn't. I looked at that price and said that they lost their damn minds. Yeah. So yeah. So and creatives, right? You get your priorities first, but take this information, all these moving parts, and make a decision based on what you think would be your biggest priority. It's not a time to panic. It's actually this is time to plan. Like all the information's out there. Some of this has been so blatantly done. The people aren't even hiding their motives anymore in the street or in politics. That's great. Let them, as my Cajun friends would say, let them show their ass. That's fine. That gives you information to say, you know what? These idiots are going to start a war and it's going to cause this to happen. So I'm going to try and buffer myself against that. We can't change the war, that's beyond our control, but we can certainly prepare ourselves so we're not waiting in a food line in the cold weather because we didn't prepare. Um, but anyway, guys, the video that I was playing clips of, um, oh, hold on, LDSM places for stocking. Yeah, have page. Yeah, prioritize and you take your time, and you could do mini preps too, right? You go, hey Moon, uh, you could go to the store and you go to get your normal groceries and you're like, you know what, I'm going to buy that little 4 pack of green beans, but those green beans are going to go in my special stash in the back of the house, and then the rest goes in the pantry. And when you start doing things like that, you'll be surprised how quickly it adds up with very low cost to you. So shop around, go online, coupon if you can. Couponing, the stores changed the rules because they were losing their asses, but the couponing is still out there in some way, shape, or form. Um, and yes, you need water for that coffee. Yeah, store wisely, and also take your time. Take your time and try to inventory every now and then. I've told people if you're depressed for time, my time's at a premium a lot of times with work. Pick a prep for a weekend, right? So it's like, okay, this Saturday I'm going to spend 3 hours and go through my canned goods, or I'm going to go inventory the batteries, or I'm going to go clean my firearms, or I'm going to go um, pull my solar generator out and plug everything in and connect it and test it and make sure everything still works. Uh, every every one of those little preps will add value, and they'll get you familiar with what you have and how much of it you use and how to use it when you're under stress. Okay, you don't want to open a brand new Jackery or whatever Bluetti solar generator the first time a blackout happens, right? That's not the time to open it. The minute you get the new gear, test it, open it, look at it, make sure you understand how it works, um, and take time. Have a little cash. If you have precious metals or you invest in other things that are tradable or may have value, great, but spread it out a little bit. So together, well, might not go full Mac. Well, I think it also will be regional, right? So the cities will be really bad, but out in the country, all the townsfolk, especially in Texas, the county judge has a lot of constitutional power, as does the sheriff. So, they may, you go, you have some kind of shtf and you start raping and pillaging, and the sheriff catches you, they may try you and they may hang you because there's no appellate court anymore because it's gone. So, well, you had your trial, and now they're going to find an oak tree, and that's the end of that. So, yeah, I think it won't go Mad Max. I think it'll become very, how would I say it? Not colonial, almost frontier like the pioneer law. Like you're going to get your fair share in court, and then you're either going to be set free or you're getting the rope, and that'll be the end of it. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But folks, look, when I set a goal to look all I could. Daniel first got all the good stuff. I'll tell you what, the Navy commissary, the post exchange in Pearl Harbor, was the size of a Walmart. It was multiple floors. Hayes Gray knows which one I'm talking about. It will be get a rope. So those very commonly said word here in the South, that's for sure. Especially with thieves and murderers and whatnot. Well, folks, look, all of y'all be safe, be careful out there. Um, take your time trying to understand how these things can affect you, and then make your make your adjustments accordingly. Now's not a time to panic. It's a great time to prepare yourselves for what may come later. In any case, guys, I'm going to leave you with that one. Take your time, plan it out, write it down, whatever it is. And if you can work with other people, even better. But folks, until next time, I know there are a lot of other YouTubers are going to start popping up online. So thank you so much. Thank you, my mother Spark, all my mods, and all my friends, Lucky, Redleg, sorry, and stay off the ice, please. I already busted my ass last year, and I thought I fractured my hand. I didn't, but I kind of dislocated a finger, which I popped back in, and that felt awesome. So yeah, don't do that. That sucks. Anyway, God bless, Godspeed. I will see you all later on, and be careful on the roads. Be good.